Okay, I'm coming to you from a bit of a weird angle today because my phone stand broke, so I'm kind of had to prop my phone up in a weird place. It's that time of the month. Doesn't sound good. This time of the month, the Stormbringer latest delivery, issues 39 up to 42. And the best way to describe these issues is monsters, big beasties, which looks really good. Although it does take two issues to actually do one of them. Now, sometimes that can be a bit irritating. However, this is such a big miniature. You can understand as I go through these, you'll see exactly what's going on really with that, and why I don't really begrudge it being across two issues. Okay, so let's start out then. It's a bit odd actually. We're starting out with a paint one. So if you can remember last time, we had we had 4 issues of models. Now normally the last issue is a my brain keeps going to sleep. The last issue as a rule is a paint issue, and it wasn't. It was another set of miniatures. So our first issue here is a set of paints. Now I'm going to go into that. The two paints in this are actually shades. So there again, there's sort of like improving our painting techniques, particularly if you're a new starter. Now, I do have these two paints, which I'll go just briefly into, but they're the old version of them. So I don't know quite how these sit when you actually do some painting, and I might need to learn how to use these. Okay, so issue 39. Very, a beautiful piece of artwork on the front of it. You can tell it's the Sylvaneth one. Explaining why we've got this kind of Reichland flesh shade and a Athonian camo shade, because they're like a brown and a green colour, so that's very earthy colours. So yeah, it's a nice piece of artwork on the front. I'm not sure what the creature is. Maybe we'll find out when we open up. There is more lore on the Sylvaneth, which is what we want at the moment because we're learning all about them. They are a beautiful army. Aesthetically, they're just so perfect. I haven't found anything to fault on them so far. So yeah, we got those. We have quite some interesting pieces of artwork embedded in the lore, and again, you can see some quite interesting models that I don't think we're going to get in Stormbringer, but I think looking at the potential models here, that looks cool actually. A giant beetle, like what's it called? Well, it's not really like a dung beetle. It's probably based on something else, but it's definitely got those heavy horns built onto it. We've got the Venom story part 4. So that's carrying on with the Golmrog, being basically surrounded by the Gloomspite Gates. Then smoothing on, talking about the Sylvaneth collection, talking about the story behind them and giving you some names to go on. Oh, interesting. Now, growing your city. So that's actually quite interesting. So it's just giving you a name for your cityscape, really. That's quite nice, isn't it? That's a good little thing if you want to kind of give yourself a bit of a story behind your crusade, I suppose, and what's happening with it. I would really like to be able to kind of do a forest city. That would be a very nice one. Something that maybe links together both the Stormcasts and the Sylvaneth. So like make it a very wooden city, maybe, or maybe actually they probably wouldn't like it if people built houses out of woods, but do something along those lines. Okay, crusade motivation. Bit about growing your war, which is an orky thing. And then moving on to how to use our 2 paints. So straightforward issue, good issue. bit of lore, bit of a story to add on to. We've got our terrain, a bit of information on, you know, how a terrain works. There is, let's have a look here. Yep, bits on enchanted ruins, and then new models, new paints, saying new battle map from issue 41. So I'll have a look in that and see what that is. So there we go. Now, as we can see here, it's very much saying, you know, like coming up, we've got this big, massive Spirit of Dirthu, which looks like it's going to be really interesting going forward. So that's our issue 39, the actual issue itself, and then of these colours. So we've got the camo shade and we've got the flesh shade. So basically shading in greens and browns, which if you're going to be painting things very wooden, there we go, these are the kind of paints that you need. These are shades, so they're very, very runny. The general rule of thumb is, you know, you're not really into the hobby until you spill a shade by accident, which everyone does eventually. And that's just the way it is. So I have the old versions of these, which are more like an ink. So shades seem to go on a bit different. So I'll see what happens as we go through. So there we go. That's issue 39 of the paints that we get. So what we'll do is, thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.